We're going to make a TV show. How can this help you? What else have you ever wanted to do? Any cool stories you thought could be a TV show, movie, skit? If there is something you want to create, now is the best time to do it. Now, I am new to this. I've had this idea for a long time, and this is the journey. What's the why? Why are you doing this? Me? I always thought it'd be funny to reenact one of the best chapters of my life, owning a Chinese restaurant. I am not Chinese. My mom is Laos, and I was raised Jewish. My dad's Russian Polish. We opened this restaurant 10, 15 years ago. This was the start of my next adult life. We had so many stories, people making fun of us for not knowing what we were doing. We opened this Chinese restaurant knowing that we're going to get something out of it. We wanted to really make money. That was the goal. We were like, okay, well, how hard is it to open a Chinese restaurant? We've been in thousands of them. They're not that difficult. All we have to do is get a few people, a new kitchen, nice little menu, and maybe we can add a little extra of our spices and zest to the known General Tso's chicken concepts or orange chickens, lo meins, egg foo youngs, rice, chow mein, all that. We were thinking at that time that we knew just enough to open up this restaurant. And honestly, it was a bang for the first 6 months, and then it went complete shit. Now, why would I think this is a cool story to tell? Why make a TV show out of this? Why create a YouTube channel around this? We had some of the funniest interactions with some of the customers that we had life experiences that we still bring to this day. And I think that's something you should do too. If you think that you had this story, interaction, anything that you thought was funny, why not put, well, not funny, but just anything that gave you a question about life, a question about who you are, a question about your identity, a question about what you're doing, whatever. If you think that's a funny story, you should say it. We're going to break down what it takes to write this show. Location, log lines, locations, characters, arcs, plot A, plot B. It's fucking, I don't even know, like whatever you need to do to make a TV show. I have no idea. I'm going to show you a link below, basically of what we'll be using in terms of what the daily content would be. I would basically explain what I think it should be based on what the TV show I'm doing. And then best case scenario, you can do it too. A little bit about my background. I'm actually not into writing. I am trying to be an actor. I've done improv, acting class, etc. I've actually had this script written in the past. So what I ended up doing was I ended up finding a ghostwriter on Upwork. And it took me on this whole brand new journey, or this journey of the show Lotus Garden. I had this ghostwriter. I talked out loud like this, thought about funny ideas or funny concepts of the show in general. We worked on the first episode pilot, and from there he wrote it, and then we found another person who was actually had a little more understanding of the Chinese restaurant. She put her flair into it also, and it was awesome. It's a really nice little script. With that, I moved to LA to sell the idea in pilot. It was actually during the strike, the SAG strike, and everything basically halted. So I was able to get some idea of what they thought of the script. And I always had the same questions basically about how we're going to introduce all the characters, what's going on. In most cases, the story didn't completely come together, especially how I wanted it. I saw myself making this show as the actor. I am the main actor. Everyone should be the actor of their own show. It's pretty cool if you're willing to be in front of the camera. I decided to do this because I wanted to see myself in that world again. I miss those times. I was around 24, 25 years old when I was doing this, and life was just so much easier. And I want to go back, and I miss it. And of course, whatever happens with the show, being picked up, if it doesn't, it becomes a web series. I want to see myself in front of the camera and see if I can relive these moments. And I think going to that is kind of why I think you should try this too, because it's fun. I miss those times. So I'm trying to go back to that. Basically, I always had the same questions about who are the characters? Why these guys? What's going to happen to them? And I feel I always had really good feedback in regards to the characters of who they are. To be quick, the main character is from Laos on his mom's side and Russian, Ukrainian, Jewish. So that's the main character. It's me. And we're going to have a Vietnamese person, Cambodian, another person of color, Hispanic, people of color. It's a variety of people living their lives in a world of a plaza. Liquor stores, Chinese restaurants, nail salons. The world of this plaza is friends interacting, coming from different areas. Cambodia, the genocide. Vietnam, the Vietnam War. Laos, they got bombed. We had to live our own stuff too. You know, whoever is going to be within the show is going to have backstory, and that's part of the show as well. I want to show these characters in a way where we know them when we do launch this pilot. We're going to know everything about them in a way where we can kind of connect with them when this launches. We're going to know the characters off the rip. And part of the reason why I'm doing this like this, because I haven't really seen it like this before. And nowadays with all this type of content that we're having, it's like we got to catch attention right off the rip. I got to know who this person is. It's overwhelming that half the good shows that are out there, either you got to be completely bombarded with marketing, or you got to fall in love with the actual actor in itself. And don't get me wrong, that makes sense. But what if you were to have some of your favorite characters in YouTube, or your favorite characters, your friends who you just love so much, you want to, and the people you follow, the things that you follow on a regular day basis, what if they were in a TV show, web series concept? What if this person who you fell in love with the backstory, or understood how they were raised with a single father, for example, or a drunk uncle, or someone who you can relate to? What if you were to know that's the person going into this first episode, let alone the extra episodes after that? The idea is to get out all the characters that would mesh well in the show. Give them a storyline based in this world of Lotus Garden, in the plaza, and bring it all together. That's what I see, and I hope you can create your own world, either time travel or a fantasy land where you just want to live. The idea for this isn't for you not to always obviously act in it, but the idea that we could create something together online, open source, and then when we are ready to launch, get funding, get some actors, anything people have interest in, there's a way of getting a community around something already built. We're building the foundation, and when it launches, we have something awesome. And that's the goal, you know, to have a way of getting all these thoughts out of our brain. I'm supposed to be a good writer. Yeah, I get that. I'm supposed to be really good at brainstorming, throwing shit against the wall, and picking all the good stuff. It's tiring. It's not easy. And if this is the way I'm able to communicate to get this stuff out somehow and put it into a form of dialogue, storyline, my goal of this is to achieve community in the form of creative writer's room online, open source concepts of writing a script that makes sense for a bunch of people, something that people want to see when it's launched. And I don't have to market something and make you want to buy something based on catchphrases and a cool actor, for example. What if the story was enough? That's the goal for Lotus Garden, the plaza. Title to be continued. If you like what you're hearing, please follow me on the journey. This is chapter 1, page 1 of the script, Lotus Garden.